Hey, sorry about that, guys. Right, what do I want next? Where do I decide? Character. So, who was I could use? I'm obviously one brain. Who was that one? Oh no, 2 crowns. My brain. On level 2 then. So we'll go for that one then. Let's go, guys! Ba, ba, ba. Lord Mortimer has finally arrived.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that you would help us find your mother. However, there may be some new developments, but I don't know if they are linked to your mother. We have found Elizabeth Adams' body in her room.
Oh no.
I'm afraid she was brutally murdered, stabbed several times.
Who could have done it?
That is precisely what I would like you to help us determine, Louis. Duchess Hillsborough informed us that she accompanied you at the beginning of the evening. You apparently bumped into Miss Adams, who wanted to speak to you.
Oh, no.
We are told you turned her away, and she went away on her own.
That's correct.
Do you know what she wanted to see you about, by any chance?
She seemed upset about something. I thought she was under the influence of alcohol, but we didn't really speak.
Pity. The poor child was probably trying to find help.
I thought it could wait until tomorrow.
Apparently not.
Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed.
I understand. What do you intend to do?
I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out who could have committed this murder. I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is responsible for this. And I trust you. You have my backing. You must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime. Elizabeth was attacked in her room.
Can you tell me anything else about what happened?
Now, Louis, I wouldn't want to influence you. Get over there and form your own opinion.
Do you have any suspects in mind, my lord?
I spent most of the night talking with Sir Gregory and His Eminence Piaggi, so I think you can remove them from the list of suspects. Monsieur Bonaparte and President Washington left the party after midnight, I believe. They were tired and went up to bed.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting. And Louis, you've got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
Righty ho then. See if there's any goodies in here. Yep, that's one.
Dante's Purgatory.
Oh.
Why does your mind presume to flight when you're still like the imperfect grub, the worm before it's attained its final form? Charming.
Hello.
Your Eminence, I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing.
Not to worry, Your Eminence. If he is innocent, then he has nothing to fear. Do you know why Monsieur Bonaparte was hanging around her room like that?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to learn that the dashing young soldier had become infatuated with a fragile young
It's kind of
woman
a disappearance
who
story.
looked
I've come to the
lost.
island, my
But
mother's
I don't think
disappeared.
he got a very warm welcome.
Now there's been a death, and I'm
Bonaparte and Adams?
investigating that, so... there's a
But they
lot
didn't
of
even know each other, did they?
historical
I couldn't
figures
say.
and all sorts.
But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Peru.
I've got George
You
Washington
remember
in here.
how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Yes, lots of historical figures. Let me show you. Or is it not here? Don't know. Oh, there we go. So, yeah, Mr. Bonaparte there. Mr. Him. That's me. Mr. George Washington. Random servants with weird masks. Yeah, it's on all consoles. Episode 2 just came out today for season pass holders. It's currently on. Oh, it was on sale. I might have just changed today. It was on sale on Xbox. But it is a very complex game.
Which four-letter word could open this chest?
Yeah, and there's lots of puzzles. So there is so much to configure. Your character, you got skill levels, unlock all sorts. So I've started with a detective, but obviously you can unlock others with skill points. So all these talents, so you do certain things, you then unlock stuff in your character. So yes, a lot. Very in-depth game. Yeah, I definitely recommend it.
A drachma.
A drachma. Golden elixir. We got anything else to do? Anything else in here before I go down? Anything on the bookcase? Ah, stuff up here. Hello, Mr. Servant.
The nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781.
Healing. Oh, royal jelly. Fill up my skill points. What are we called? Here's water. Alright, is that everything in here? most of the load times are quite fast as well compared to other games I've played before, so... where am I supposed to be going? Can't remember now. Where am I going? Where am I going? Can't remember. I'm going somewhere. Just head down the stairs. Nope, can't get up either. Where am I going? Okay, these are the stairs then. Alright, thank you for the lurk. Don't forget to follow if you haven't already. Way downstairs? No, can't go that way either. Come on, how do I get downstairs? Unless I've got to go in someone's room, I really can't remember now. Oh yes, that was it. Had to question this guy.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
Ah,
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit? What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
Okay then.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
I'm just asking. Sorry, man. Do you enjoy hitting women?
Goodbye, sir. We shall meet again.
Probably.
Hoop. Hoop. I need to get rid of... Oh, which one is it? Yes, that one. Here my negative. Add one more on. What do these other two things do? Reveals. Okay. I shall use that on the next one. Did I even click on that?
A pattern with 4 circles.
Didn't I get a key with 4 circles? Maybe not. Oh, I can unlock now. Yay! Chicka. Ooh. I knew that skill
Dear
would be
Monsieur
helpful.
Perru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent
are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself will never thank you enough. Long live the Republic. Long live France. Sister Marie-Hélène.
No space left. I'll retrieve it later. I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Devil's Bond.
Dear Monsieur...
All right. I've retrieved everything.
I need more jelly.
Great. Honey.
That's what I wanted.
Dear friend, please come and join us. We must meet about the ongoing operations in Paris. A boat will be waiting for you in Calais and will take you to Dover in England. From there, a carriage will take you to the port of Tintagel, where a frigate will be waiting for you and other guests, so you can meet up with me on my island as quickly as possible. I await your arrival. Lord William Mortimer.
Clock is ticking. Oh, goody good. Another golden elixir. Let's see if there's anything else. Ooh, a book. Ta-da!
Records of the police. Notes
Come on,
intended
time's
for the
ticking.
police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris, and there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Nice. That's everything. I shall go question him with some bonusy stuff. That's about it. So now use the other option and see if we get anything from him.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Thank you for the follow. Immunity.
I'd like to talk about the
Whoa.
letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm
Always
not saying
play
any more.
cheers.
There's no point you insisting. All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions.
Right, see what this one gives us.
2 days ago, I surprised...
Oh! What happened? You used 4 consumable items during a single quest or consumed a noxious... Whoops.
you having a go at Miss Adams.
What happened? Did you want to give her another beating? She wouldn't let you push her around again, huh?
Shut up, you little shit! You have no idea what happened, and here you are, carping away. You think you're Investigator of the Year. Have you taken a look at yourself, Deriche?
Didn't you get enough beating her black and blue the last time?
I did not!
Uh-huh.
Why?
0. That's good.
Nothing. Get away from me.
Just as soon as you stopped treating me like I'm an idiot. If you wanted people to think you were guilty, you couldn't have done any better. So cut the bullshit and come clean now.
I can't! He'll come for revenge.
Who?
No one! Just shut your trap, goddammit! Yes, I was there. Yes, I walked in her blood. You've got all you need to wrap it up. Now scram!
Right. I have been chucked out. Where am I going now? So, Bonaparte's room, Peru's room. I'll go find the crime scene, that might be a good one. Adam's room. Let's see who's on here. I'm running the right way.
Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Okay. Right. Letter there I can't read. Nothing there. I need some more jelly, guys. Come on, please. I want some more jelly. Jelly. Give me some jelly. Nope, that's golden elixir. I said I wanted jelly. Jelly.
A letter from William Pitt the Younger, addressed to Emily. He's the present Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Emily has indeed some powerful backers. Madam, thank you for consoling the Queen. The King's situation is worsening, but I wager he'll recover from this present fit. Next time you speak with Her Majesty the Queen, would you please be so kind as to ask her to look into my petition to raise taxes with the King? I will personally see to it that our nation will recover from this impasse. But King George's mental situation is slowing down our decision-taking. Thank you in advance for all your help. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom of Great Britain.
Kill. Another box. Oh,
Two coils
sets.
circle the lock.
Oh, what keys do I actually have then? I thought I had some like nice keys. Oh, 5 circles, that was it. Well, I can't waste skill points on that.
A letter from William Pitt the Elder, addressed to Emily. He was the English Prime Minister. This letter dates from 15...
Devil's Thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised
Devil's
traits.
Spawn again.
A Devil's Thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
Can I talk to you? Go on then.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I didn't know her well, but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Death came quickly. You can be assured of that.
If such a senseless act can happen here, then none of us is truly safe anywhere. Lord Mortimer must be mortified that one of his guests could have committed such an act, don't you think?
He is indeed very upset about it. It's only natural after such a violent murder.
Violent? What do you mean?
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
9 times?
Oh my God, Louis. How awful. The murderer must have had a serious grudge against her to set upon her like that. It must have been a crime of passion. Do you know what happened exactly?
In fact, Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I can't really afford to do that now, so I'll come back.
I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
That's my room. Oh, it's balconies. Well, that's Adam's room, so I'll go around to there first. I may find some clues. Who's that room? Is that George Washington?
President George Washington.
Pop into Adam's room first then. Hello, sir. Ooh, okay. Ooh.
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that size. It must be from a woman's hand. There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars. People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to relieve some kind of psychological suffering. By trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control. I see no sign of bruising on the skull. The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture. She also has old scars around the neck. Maybe mutilations. She bled from the nose. There are signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising. What a strange smell. Laudanum. Certain courtiers use it to get drunk. If taken in large quantities, it can provoke fits of madness.
You killed herself.
I count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. On first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death. It looks as though the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle, as if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth.
Stabbed herself. Come on. Simples.
Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during childhood. If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body. No wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol. No marks or bruising around the wrists. It doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force.
Told ya, she killed herself.
Blood, but no trace of blows on the legs. The direction of the blood streaks caused by the wounds to the thorax show that she was standing when she lost blood. This proves that she was standing when she was assassinated, possibly held by someone or something. More tattoos, similar to those on the rest of her body.
I think that is all.
Poor girl bled to death. Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe. Knocked over bottle of wine. What kind of plonk is that?
Aww.
Hey, it's a Bordeaux. That's a Chateau de Briand. It's a great wine. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable. Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that. Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Devil's born. And then I'm full again. Huh.
Pentagram? What the hell's been going on here? wonder if Elizabeth's death has anything at all to do with this pentagram. If a ritual went wrong and degenerated, Elizabeth would probably have been killed in the center of the pentagram, not 3 meters from here. That's strange.
Put me fan on. Right.
A notebook, written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out.
Don't know my languages yet, matey.
June 11th, 1791. My dear Elizabeth, your last letter gave me much cause for concern. Your words were so cold, as if emotions no longer matter to you. Father maintains that the secondary effects of your treatment still trouble you, but that they will soon subside. Should I believe him? I cling to the belief that we shall soon see each other again, at long last. Right soon. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. Don't forget to tell me what present you want. Piece of fabric, high quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. The color doesn't correspond to Emily's black outfits, and Elizabeth doesn't have anything quite like this in her wardrobe. Let's take a closer look. It's a little dirty. It must come from the bottom of the dress where it touches the ground. I recognize that moire pattern. It's the same as the travel dress my mother was wearing when she left. But why the hell did she come into this room?
Is my mother the murderer? Again?
A pistol? Fairly new, I'd say, and judging by the weight of it, fairly light. A tribute engraved on the barrel to the liberators of France. There's a few dried traces of blood on the grip. Difficult to know for sure how they got there. It's extremely well maintained. The barrel is perfectly clean. It isn't loaded, and well, there's no traces of gunshot residue. I'd conclude that it hasn't been used recently. Right. I shall have to find its owner. August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I am driven to despair and doubt there is any point in writing to you. I'm not even sure you'll receive my letters. Father controls my correspondence more and more. I am certain he filters our exchanges. Thankfully, one of the chambermaids is able to help me get my letters to you. But they still remain unanswered. I often...
Anything else in here? No.
Clock stopped at 3:54. If it was smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime. That would clear Emily de facto because she was still with me at the time. My dear Elizabeth.
Has Sir finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Ah, right, thank you. Oh, hello.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, Are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
No, nothing special.
I'd have thought this is not really the shortest way to get to your suite.
Yes, I wasn't really looking where I was going. I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Weird. Right, on to George Washington. Where is it?
Map of Massachusetts.
Oh, see, I could unlock it for one, but there could be nothing in it. Jelly, that'll do.
It's Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
My dear George, I'd like to invite you to join me as planned at my place. I have a project to show you. It is time that the United States played a more important role on the world stage. I understand your reluctance of playing with fire. I know your new country is very young, but rest assured that I would do nothing to jeopardize what we have built together. I look forward to seeing you soon. Your friend, William.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals. The English and the Americans are preparing a peace treaty. It would appear that Emily is in secret discussion with Washington about reopening trade between the United States and England. If such an arrangement came into being, France would suffer dearly. Golden elixir.
Oh, another book. Yeah. Got a few books now. Still want to find them. Still a few keys there. So. Cha-ching. George, old boy.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Are you all right, Mr. President? Are you feeling all right?
Oh, don't worry. It's this rotten toothache. What do you expect? I'm no spring chicken now.
Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some. She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Well, that uses up to...
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines that wouldn't go away.
More likely for the voices she heard, not the migraines.
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Perry, but that case was closed if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened. And I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry. Countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Indeed. Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her. It would appear that she wasn't invited to the conference.
That doesn't surprise me. The poor girl was in no way concerned by our business, and she had no political clout.
So, I don't understand why Sir Gregory invited her during the conference of his good friend Lord Mortimer. He must have realized that he wouldn't have much time to grant her. Preparing a conference does not seem an easy task. On the evening of our arrival, Lord Mortimer didn't even welcome us, what with his being so busy and all.
Yes, you're right, Louis. I didn't think of that. It is indeed rather surprising. The easiest thing to do is simply ask him, you know.
Of course. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No, rest assured. It looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue.
To it. Well, then let's see. Yeah, that's my room. There's some up there.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi. Huh, that's me.
I'm prepared by my own room.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Godoy. Urban Napoleon.
The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition. That might come in handy.
Ooh, one extra manuscript. Nice. I can't equip it now though, can I?
beautiful weapon, a Levy Damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles. My dearest son, I'm writing to implore you to act quickly. The situation is rapidly worsening here. Paoli continues to steer our motherland, Corsica, toward open warfare between France and England. His men are everywhere. We are obliged to go into hiding and are unable to remain in the same place for more than 2 days. I wouldn't be surprised if they targeted us soon. Make haste, my son. You hold our destiny in your hands. Your loving mother, Maria Letizia Bonaparte. A bicorn decorated with a cockade. It must belong to a French soldier.
Oh, no, cabinet.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Are we now?
Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you. What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight, so I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No.
Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
Did they win much?
Oh la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you. Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Oui, oui.
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Is that everything? I did check everything on there, didn't I? Oh, no, I didn't.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
My dear Napoleon, as previously agreed, I would like to ask you to join us in January on my island to participate in the High Society meeting organized for the occasion. We shall be able to continue our discussion about our project for a new order for France. I have a proposition to make to you concerning your wish to put a strong leader at the head of France. I trust you to be discreet as to your coming. See you soon. Lord William Mortimer.
A drachma.
Amber.
Amber! Not very many of them around.
French actor Talma is Nero in Britannicus, the last emperor of the Caesar dynasty.
Golden elixir again. Alright, is that everything? See if any of that added anything to the conversation.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy. Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Hang on. Oh, are you talking about that pistol? It says it's missing.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
As any good soldier would, I imagine you own a firearm. May I see it?
Oh, well, if you really want to, here is my pistol. Don't worry, it is not loaded.
Do you have several of these?
In Corsica, oui, but not on me when I am traveling. Only a bandit would carry such an arsenal.
Thank you.
Well,
have we finished,
yes.
monsieur?
Bye-bye.
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers. Good day.
Alright, who else we got left? Whoever's room that is, maybe. Done Peru already. What was that? I missed something. That's I'm thinking I'm missing stuff. Oh.
A few leaves out of an old encyclopedia.
Yay! More encyclopedia. That's a room I can't go in. And anyone in this one?
Monsieur Johann van Vulner.
He's the one who's randomly wandering around.
The signs of obscurantism.
Honey. I couldn't have hoped for better.
Mobile jelly.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever obedient servant. So, Volner had a relationship with Elizabeth. But that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
The blood thickens.
golden elixir.
More golden elixir.
A table of alchemical symbols. Someone circled the zinc symbol. A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Level 6. Yeah. No.
Amber.
Yeah, just need one more. Levels spawn. Right. Oh. Another coin. Right, is that it for in here? Just need to talk to this geezer.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Did you see how many tattoos Miss Adams had on her?
Of course. Who wouldn't have noticed?
Yes, but I'm sure that an expert like yourself must have an opinion on the subject.
I do. She was seeking to imprison something inside her. Her own body had become a sort of prison.
She wanted to protect herself. Is that what you're saying?
Elizabeth was a flame, a candle in the night. And like all candles in the night, she was surrounded by darkness, by her demons. Call it what you will. One thing is for sure. She struggled against hell and high water not to let her flame go out.
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts before going to bed. But I didn't stay up long. I was tired.
Thank you kindly. Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she... not really, to tell the truth. No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the bastard who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now.
Oh, here we go. Ooh.
I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you? I would never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agreed.
Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's only been a few weeks.
Oh, right. And last one then. Plop.
You loved her, didn't you?
That is none of your damn business.
Yeah, it
Your
is.
feelings betray you, sir.
So what? Yes, I loved her like a moth loves the flame of a candle. That's why we could never be together.
Right, I think that is enough for you, sir. Yeah. That is it then.
We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
Okay, I've got everyone. Anybody I missed? Washington I did. That's what's the name. Myron, Bonaparte, who I did. Let's go upstairs, see if we can do anything there.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
That's exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble, Louis. It's probably nothing. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perrault. You remember how violently he set upon Miss Adams.
Oh, don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
Right. Where's the main man? There he is. My main man.
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
She seems to be making every effort to steer clear of your guests.
What do you mean?
For the past few weeks, my mother's been playing cat and mouse, if you will. I don't know why, but it wouldn't surprise me to learn that she's trying to avoid someone. The question is, who?
And in your opinion, would she be the cat or the mouse?
Knowing my mother, she would be the cat.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
Thank you for the
What was the
RNF
official
love,
reason
Hudson.
why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Isn't Bonaparte a bit young to deserve so much attention?
Well, you come straight to the point. I like that. Indeed, if you knew just how much you remind me of him. Trust me, I'll wager that Monsieur Napoleon will soon prove himself. I'm working on it, at least. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much. In this way, you'll be able to keep your mother informed of what he said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
She was looking for someone.
What do you mean?
In Paris, we were working on a smuggling case to do with occult objects. We had just arrested a dealer who intended to go to you to meet a buyer. My mother was here to find out to whom he intended to sell his stolen treasure.
Oh. What was the name of your dealer?
I can't remember exactly. Something or other.
Von Volner?
No, not your friend Mr. Von Volner.
There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
The armistice between the Russians and the Turks. Russia's come out of it having officially won Crimea, which gives it direct access to the Black Sea.
And, at the same time, the Mediterranean Sea.
I'm worried about the decisions Tsarina Catherine might decide to take. She's a woman who managed to get rid of her husband to accede to the upper reaches of power. Gaining access to the Mediterranean Sea remains her main objective. When she still had that dear Potemkin as her lover, I could always find out about her intentions, but those days are over.
You're speaking of Grigory Alexandrovich Potemkin?
The very man. The little devil behind the mother of all Russians. Since his death, I know absolutely nothing of what the Tsarina is up to.
Oh, really?
Ah, yes. I didn't mean to shock you. Please forgive me. Let's just say that, in my position, it is often advantageous to know about the habits and customs of world leaders.
I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Oh, no.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before Gregory could intervene, she ran off and disappeared again.
I beg your pardon? Hang on.
That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that?
Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation, until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
That's all I can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on her trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
That's the end of... No, not
The
yet.
room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
Power. Office. And that one.
A Chinese coin.
There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says,
We must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of? I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there. Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
Oh, there's a lot.
The door appears to be locked on the other side.
Aha, a key.
I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic sound, like I'm gonna need something to help me get the key that fell on the floor. The door was closed from the inside. Would Mother have provided something within reach to recover it? There are burnt papers in the chimney.
What's that pencil?
There's a legible fragment left.
I know.
Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be? Who could she be suspicious of?
Away.
I must find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Okay. And it costs 2, is it? I shall come back there. Go downstairs, yeah. Oh, I can't go out.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
I don't know any of those, so not much I can do with that. Ah, I'll have to force the door then. Oh, hello.
What is this disc?
Aha. Lodestone. Can I do anything with the door with that?
We'll see if it works.
Die.
It's open.
No.
St. Paul, painted by Guido Rini. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
Come back to that. If I need to spend a point, I would.
Painting of St. Mark from the collection of the Apostles by Guido Rini.
Is there nothing else there?
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Rini. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust. St. John, painted by Guido Rini. The New Testament.
I can't analyze. Oh my goodness.
Then they suborned men, which said, "We have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God."
See what else we got first.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Rini. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
I think I've got that key. Ah. Maybe not. The left key is the right key. I don't know.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle. So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
So I just done the exact same thing. Oh, look at that one on the floor. Aha.
I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God forbid, but rather through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentile, for to provoke them to jealousy. Oh, wait.
Aha.
A note from Mother is carefully folded between the pages here. What does it say?
Dear E, I'm glad you found this note. I was afraid the code of the 2 groups of pilgrims would mislead you. Pick up the package. You know where, and hide it where no one will find it. It's imperative, awaiting your reply, hidden behind the youngest apostle.
Oh, yeah.
What? The youngest apostle? What does Mother mean by that?
What? Huh. No. Yes, just not give me the ages. That'd be nice.
This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord. A volume of the Gutenberg Bible. Saying with a loud voice, "Worthy is the Lamb that was slain to receive power and riches and wisdom and strength and honor and glory and blessing." St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle. Right. This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother.
Yeah.
Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer. The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle? Ah, of course. There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
They what? Oh, come on.
Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. Looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
Okay, can't do anything else with that. Just making sure.
No, nothing of value here. Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
I don't know any.
There are finger marks, deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all. It's too cumbersome for me to unhook here, but judging by the dust, it hasn't been moved for months, if not years.
Yay!
A fragment of amber.
Nice. Nothing there. What about you over here, geezer?
There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean?
Science locked. Look at that frame, I can't remember now.
There's nothing worth noticing here.
Fine. Ah, here we go. Oh, okay.
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
What is left? Is there anything in the other room? Maybe. Anything on that one? Nice room, about
St. Paul on the Road to Damascus by Caravaggio. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come? This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior.
Not much left to do.
Dante's Paradise. Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortal world must ripen in our rays.
much to interact with. What else do I need to do? 4 and 8 I've got.
Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things.
No, wasn't that. That was that.
If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and
follow,
the truth is not in us.
Oh, I am lost here now. Right. What was the...
Little characters are engraved on the chest of drawers under the urn. It's a sentence in Hebrew.
Hebrew. It wasn't that. What was it then? Was it the furniture?
There are finger marks.
Hey.
Deliberately drawn in the dust. 8 in all.
That's the Hebrew?
Thou hast put all things under his feet, for in that he put all in subjection under him. He left nothing that is not put under him.
Not that one either. Hebrews.
But that which beareth thorns and briars is rejected, and is nigh unto cursing, whose end is to be burned. Here's a message.
Ah, there we go.
There are some complications. Indeed, the Prussian is insistent. What's happening at your end? Do you need help? If tonight is not possible, let's say tomorrow evening, in the South Room, where we reviewed the situation. When Paul understood that only the axe counted, he went back on his tracks. I await your confirmation to his left, in the company of the pilgrims that have joined him. Yeah, this last comment is about their code. I should find new pilgrims near Paul.
What more is going on? Nah. It's getting too complicated now.
St. Paul on the road to Damascus by Caravaggio. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come?
Right, I might have to think about this over dinner. Which is about
Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors,
Actually,
too.
we're back on the
Paul
details.
facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his savior.
Well, there's out left to there's somewhere in here, in it, but I wait a confirmations to his left. The app. Right. I'll leave it there for now, guys. Yeah. I shall be back on later on. Thank you for watching. Let's see if we can do it this time.
And he became very hungry and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E. We must leave urgently.
Okay,
but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening.
Hey,
stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? I'm guessing it's a metaphor. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Okay, I think we got there in the end. Oh, here we go. Right. Where is my mother? I did not understand my mother's message. Oh dear. I could have found the conversation between my mother and her partner. Could I? Oops. Oh dear. Right. Hey, 4 more points. So... I need to unlock. That always crops up. Cultism, that keeps popping up. That only needs one, so I can jump straight to that one. Fine. Ooh, I've almost got everything, so I just need linguistic and... yeah. So... that's only 3, I'll start with that one then, that one's 4. Kill. Okay, oh, I can equip 3 now. Blimey. Manipulation. Is that the one I was going for? Oh, it was. Nice. I can have that. Anything else close to... he's got 2 out of 4. What's the multipath then? Multipath is that one. Diversion. Brain. What's that one? Manipulation. Oh, that's part of that one. Brain is that one. Poetry. And crown. Oh, I don't know which to add. Oh, I can add 2 them, I suppose. I want to build up stuff I haven't got yet. Oh, questioning. Did I have 2 questioning? I can add that one and that one. Oh, that levels that up. Right, okay. That'll do then. That'll do, donkey, that'll do.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
The small salon, sir? That'll be not them stairs. Should be them over around. Be guarding me from going up.
You are expected in the small salon, sir.
I thought so. I just wanted to see what you were doing there, mate. Can I go down these? Yes, I can.
Emily, I must speak to you.
What's the matter, Louis? About last night, I'm guessing.
Sadly, no. Even if I'd like to have, alas, there are more pressing matters. I have news about your sister.
What have you found out?
Look, I've started piecing together the events leading up to my mother's disappearance and your sister's. Did my mother know about your secret?
Yes, even though I belong to the English chapter, her rank in the Order gives her access to a good deal of personal information.
It must have been Emma I saw in my vision.
I was given to understand that my mother and your sister bonded during their stay. I've got a question that might seem a little bit strange.
I'm listening.
If I said go beyond the nightmare, would that ring any bells?
No, means nothing to me. Do you mean literally or figuratively speaking?
My mother used to talk about it, in the figurative sense, probably. We still need to understand what she was referring to, though.
If I find something, I'll let you know.
Should I speak to her about my vision? If what I saw is true, she might want to take revenge.
Emily, there's something else.
Go on, then.
It's about your sister. I don't know what happened exactly, but it's possible that my mother had a go at her.
I know, Louis. I found out that same evening. Well, thanks for not trying to hide it.
What? Why didn't you tell me?
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know I can. It seems that your mother tricked Emma. She apparently asked her to hide an important book, so that even she wouldn't know where it was. And then she shot her like a dog to make sure no one would ever find it again.
How did you find out?
Sir Gregory told me on my arrival.
I'm sincerely sorry, Emily.
Thank you, Louis. You're very kind. It means a lot to me. But you do realize your mother will have to accept the consequences of her acts.
There must be an explanation, Emily.
That's what we shall see.
We'll speak about it later, somewhere safe.
Come, Louis. They're waiting for us.
You will pay dearly, Peru. I'm sure you were involved somewhere along the line. That's right. Pretend you don't know. One piece of advice. Don't travel through France on your way back, or it'll cost you dearly.
Calm now, my friends. Let's calm down. Everyone seems to be a little unnecessarily heated. Don't forget where you are, please.
What's going on here exactly?
Sir Gregory called us together to introduce the last guest.
But hardly had we arrived when he set upon Monsieur Peru.
And who is this charming character?
Manuel Godoy, the Duke of La Alcudia.
He's the head of the Spanish government, Monsieur de Richet. He's the one who, in practice, controls Spain.
How could you dare do such a thing? Dios mío, you are all out of your minds!
Really, Duke Manuel? What made you kick up such a fuss?
What? Have you not heard? Well, let me inform you that yesterday morning at 10:22 a.m. precisely, in the middle of the Place de la Révolution in Paris, by decree of the National Convention which Monsieur Peru works for, King Louis was guillotined.
What? Oh, no.
The King of France is dead, gentlemen. Our monarchies are in danger. I have said it before. How dare they?
Oh, dear.
Oh, as if...
Friends, let us calm down.
Don't pretend to be surprised. He got a fair trial.
Ridiculous! Bastard! He was sentenced to death by 361 votes to 360. You beheaded a king for 1 vote! Is that your democracy?
What an obnoxious act! Until anything was possible. This political coup will have grave consequences.
France is lost.
Gentlemen, please. Let us take a step back a moment.
In the name of holiness. He was the highest representative of God in France, Emily.
Gentlemen, Duchess, we're all among people of reputable company here. We should be able to manage the conflicts of our nations in a respectful and orderly manner.
I fully agree with you, sir.
But...
That's enough, sir.
With whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
Louis Maras de Richet.
Are you related to Sarah de Richet?
Sarah is his mother, Duke. Gentlemen, this news affects us all, but I must ask you to remain calm. It's not the first time history has taken us by surprise. Let's ensure that our respective countries are allowed to respond appropriately to this news.
Oh, rest assured. The response will not fall short, my friend.
Good for you. Well, Your Grace, here I was preparing to introduce you as is proper, and you've beaten me to it. I'm delighted that we are all together at last. Our meeting will therefore be able to kick off shortly. I have just a few more little preparations to take care of before you all find out the reason for your presence here. In the meantime, I shall leave you to get to know one another. When you hear the bell, please proceed to the conclave room on my left, behind that door. I'll see you later.
Could you spare a moment, please, sir?
I'm glad you asked. I want to talk to you, too.
Of course.
I heard about your mother's disappearance.
He looks concerned. I don't know why, but I doubt it's from sympathy alone. Well, let's see what he wants from me.
Any news of her? Have you found her, maybe?
Hear you speak, it sounds like you and my mother were close.
Let's say I hold your mother in high esteem, yes. We were even planning to work together.
That's what he was getting at.
Did she tell you about our arrangement?
How could I know about that? We haven't seen each other for several weeks.
Indeed. I was simply hoping to pursue the transaction that we had agreed on with you. Too bad. I shan't keep you, Monsieur de Richet.
All right then. Oh. Thank you.
I hope that your search will prove successful and bring Sarah back to us soon. I must go now. I'll see you later.
No. Well, that will be.
A Bazant. Hey, these look like pages taken from an ancient encyclopedia.
There's a pattern with 5 circles
I
on
want
his
to keep this
chest.
one. Yay, here's a key. Aha.
Right. I've retrieved everything.
What were they? Oh, golden elixirs. Golden elixir. Anything else? Oh, more golden elixir. 5 golden elixirs always a pitfall. Now, what did I just unlock? Honest. 1 point in logic. What's that for? I can hear you, but what are you for? Oh, there it is. Snakey.
Honey, the remedy of the gods.
Oh, jelly! How many have I got now? 3. Alright, is that everything before I speak to Mr. Bonaparte? Is there anything on here? Go, go, go. I've got 3 and 5. Try that one.
Monsieur Bonaparte, may I speak with you a moment?
May we?
Does expression "go beyond the nightmare" mean anything to you at all?
Well, metaphorically, yes. It sums up the career of a soldier quite well. I doubt that is what you want to hear, though.
Indeed.
That's surely not what I'm looking for.
Well, monsieur, if you are looking for a phrase book, Lord Mortimer must surely have one, given the number of books he has. You ought to check in the library of the tower. You never know.
What do you think of Duke Godoy?
Well, I'd rather not express any opinion of him.
Why is that?
His reputation is enough for me.
Meaning?
This gentleman enjoys people talking about him for too many reasons. His undeserved titles, more than 10 in just 4 years, and each one more prestigious than the one before.
You don't think he deserves them?
If I had seen him on the battlefield, there might be some doubt. But that is not the case. The Queen would rather not risk losing him, so she consoles him with awards and titles.
So you don't have a very positive opinion?
His coveting French Catalonia does not encourage me to have one.
I understand your point of view. Would you have any more information about the conference Lord Mortimer spoke of?
Nothing at all. Mortimer is very committed to secrecy when it comes to his conferences. But given the presence of Monsieur Peru and ourselves, I think it must concern France to some extent. Otherwise, I doubt he would have invited 3 Frenchmen to his table, huh?
Well, I'll be leaving you now. Shall we meet up again later?
Wait, monsieur. Any news of your mother?
Unfortunately not, no.
I hope to speak with her about my deal before I leave.
Hello?
Let me know if you find her. À plus tard, monsieur.
That's a bit broken. Yeah, where's it? Oh, the big library. That was... Is it that one? Portrait gallery? No, library's there, so... Ah, Mr. George Washington.
Go beyond the nightmare. Does this line remind you of anything in particular?
You've caught me unaware here, Louis. Let me think about it a second. No, nothing comes to mind. Sorry, Louis, but I am unable to help you.
Mr. President, can you tell me a little more about the coming conference?
Of course, Louis. That's why we're here. Lord Mortimer, or Sir Gregory, regularly organize meetings like this to put forward major projects.
What do you mean by major projects?
I'd prefer to let Lord Mortimer explain that to you, Louis. Let's say he brings together influential people in order to consider possible actions to undertake to guarantee the future of nations.
Do you know the theme of the conference?
Not in the slightest. None of the guests know the theme before arriving, but you'll see. Everything will turn out fine. Don't worry.
Mr. President, what do you think about your counterpart, Duke Manuel?
I'm very surprised he was able to accept Lord Mortimer's invitation, given the political situation in Spain.
What do you mean?
The situation is ready to explode with France over Catalonia.
Well, the Duke must have a darn good reason to be absent and come here, mustn't he?
When Lord Mortimer invites you, Louis, you come. It's always in your best interest.
I wouldn't say that personally, but... Well, thank you for your time.
Don't mention it, my young friend. Regarding your question on the nightmare, don't hesitate to question the others about it. Maybe one of them knows more than I do.
That's a good idea. Thank you once again. I'll see you in a little bit.
Let's try a servant before I go in. He might know something. You never know.
What can I do for you, sir?
Ooh,
I am at your service day and night, sir.
As I was unable to bring my personal effects with me, I was wondering if you could find me a few items.
Of course, sir. What would you require?
Kelly! Oh.
My good fellow, would you have any amber available?
I would, but unfortunately, I don't think I am authorized to give it out, sir. I believe it is a precious stone.
No, not unlocked any of them yet.
A little Carmelite water would do me a lot of good. Could you find me some, please?
Oh, the tonics are under lock and key, sir. Lord Mortimer only allows access to them in cases of emergency.
I can't do that either. Oh, can I? 43. Yeah, I need to get to them. So...
I still haven't quite recovered after that boat crossing.
Which one's Devil's Form? Is that the... Oh, it's that.
Would you happen to have any Devil's Thorn by any chance?
I am sorry, sir, but the Devil's Thorn may be just a plant, but it is also a powerful psychotropic drug that causes undesirable diuretic effects. I would advise against, sir, taking any.
I'm fine. La 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 la. No, that's it then. Anything else has sprung up around here? Oh, something went pitching. There it is, a coin! What can I do with these blooming coins? Are they? They're just coins. Can't do anything with them. Yeah, the golden elixir is feathers it. Oh, I love that now. Right, let's get to the library.
Discourse on the Method by Descartes. This book changed the way I looked at the world.
I hello butterflies, just randomly inside. He's still in here.
Ah, Louis. Just the man. Good Lord. How did the king come to be executed? I would think that the order would have intervened.
Your Eminence, I'm sorry for King Louis, but he did everything to put himself there.
Louis, how can you say such a thing? Even if France rejects the church, you don't go and behead a person of high status. They always serve our cause better alive than dead. Politically, it's absurd.
I invite you to speak about it with my mother as soon as she reappears.
Is there any news of her?
Well, I hope it won't be long before I find her, Your Eminence.
Louis, I'm counting on you. If you don't find Sarah before my departure, I must ask you to give me back the letter I gave you.
Well, don't worry about that, Your Eminence.
Now you wanted to speak to me.
If I say the nightmare to you, does it make you think of anything?
Your question is strange, my son. Difficult to say. Could you at least tell me a little more about the context?
Think of a place and tell me the first thing that comes into your mind when I say the nightmare.
Let me think. I'd say Lord Mortimer's favorite painting on the wall behind his desk. You know, that painting caused quite a stir when it was exhibited. It is titled The Nightmare, and it shows a woman lying down with a creature sitting on her, and in the background, a horse.
A horse.
I don't know if it will be of any help, but I can't think of anything else.
You never know. Thank you for that, though, Your Eminence.
I gotta go and see it just in case, though.
I was wondering what to think of that Manuel Godoy.
Godoy.
He is reputed to be a very ambitious character, at every level. But his faith is unwavering. He is a staunch defender of the church. You can believe me.
No!
As to his faith, I have no doubt. However, his ambition seems to surpass his morality, and I hope that it will not sully the crown.
You can say that again. The blue eyes of the latest Infanta, Maria Isabel, have left everyone wondering.
Rumors always accompany men of power, Your Eminence.
Naturally. But the number of awards and titles granted by the Queen during these past 4 years leaves little doubt.
So, Godoy really is this out-and-out rascal who uses his charm on the Queen.
I'm sure a man like you is in the circle of trust. Would you know what the conference that Lord Mortimer mentioned is going to be about?
Not really, my son. Well, be it Lord Mortimer or Sir Gregory, we are never informed about the theme of the conference before it begins.
Thank you for everything, Your Eminence. I shan't take up any more of your time.
Shan't.
You are welcome, my son. I will be seeing you, Louis.
Amber crystals.
to research in here, or have I already researched? Oh, what was that? What was that?
Atrus, the Miller brothers. Mother expressly forbade me from reading it.
Secret room. Can I get back in? More family award.
Amber crystals.
Oh, another amber. Sweet.
The Fall of Phaeton. Another painting by Rubens.
The Song of Roland. Roland feeleth his death is near. His brain is oozing by either ear. With his brain oozing, it's already remarkable that he can feel anything.
Huh. Nice little sit down. Can I go this way? Yay! Last time.
There's the alchemical symbol of the earth on the lid.
Ah, so I need 2 keys. Okay. Family water again. So I'll just use that to get that. Warm royal jelly. Royal jelly will do. Mysterious note. Oh, that looks good. Anything else?
Fragment of amber.
Nice. full of gold elixir already. Really? Can't walk through that little gap. Any coin? Oh, there we go. Thought I saw
A ruble.
A ruble. More royal jelly. Oops, negative effect. Take that off. And I can grab that one. There we go. So, we've got some stairs, but I don't know where they lead. And this goes to... nowhere. Well, somewhere I can't go. I can't go that way again, what? Can I use these stairs? Yay! Revelation love, thank you guys. Don't forget to follow. How you doing, Jonix? Is real. Oh, right. Why's this brought me out? Ah, that one. Okay, so now we are going to the Master's Chamber. Oh, what was that? What was that? Oh. I keep thinking there's a coin down here, but I think it's just a light. I've just been a doofus and gone the wrong way. I'm paying attention. Anything appeared around here?
So, what did my mother mean by going beyond the nightmare?
Go through the painting?
No, what have we got here? Oh, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Let's take a closer look. Judging by the shape, I'd say they're Criollo cocoa beans. The chocolate of the Mayas, the rarest of the beans. Some even say they're an aphrodisiac. When a product is in fashion, people attribute all sorts of virtues to it, not to be given to animals. Dark chocolate beans, very bitter. They're greatly prized in high society. A myna bird.
Well, Waldo, is your master good? Sarah Deriche? Waldo, you know Sarah?
I'm gonna kill the bird.
That's what you generally feed birds.
Wanted to make sure.
Might come in handy. A mynah bird.
Is that it?
Sarah Deriche? Waldo, you know Sarah? What? Repeat that, Waldo. Sarah? What about Sarah? Good God, what's been happening here? Well, Waldo, is your master good? I don't really know what I was expecting. It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Just pick the same book up.
It's a book on the history of the Crusades. I don't think it has any connection with my research.
Right. There's the paper on the table. So look at that.
The Nightmare painted by Fuseli in 1781. Ah, this must be what my mother was talking about. Now just need to find out what she meant by go beyond. Hey, looks like it's mounted on rails on each side. It should lift up, I think. There must be a mechanism somewhere. Aha! I found it. Oh, what on earth is this? A ring lock now? Great. That's all I needed.
Oh, this is gonna be. Oh, do I need to look at the. Oh, that's my introduction. 9227. Maybe.
Well, I got it wrong. It doesn't matter. Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Something 1. Eight 156.
got it wrong. It doesn't matter.
Really crack that.
Looks like there's a marker on number 1 on the second roller.
Regard the dates of the paint nights. $4,000 years.
No, what have we got here? Well, it looks like a model of a lock. It's as if Mortimer is fond of complicating things sometimes. Well, I hope I never have to try and unlock it. This painting isn't finished, and it looks like Mortimer probably did it. Not bad, but you can't exactly say it's been done in the style of the period. Painting depicting the Third Crusade. It's titled Winter Before the Fall of Saint-Jean d'Acre. The Siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre was a major conflict during the Third Crusade. Richard the Lionheart and Philip Augustus fought to take the town back. It was the Crusaders' first operation to take back the Kingdom of Jerusalem. William Alexander Mortimer I, the 12th month of Annuusis, 5190. That's a funny date. Doesn't work, damn it. I really thought I was close. 1190. Isn't the right date when you subtract 4000? I must have missed a subtlety.
Oh, hang on. I don't need to. I'll leave it be. Yay!
Open sesame.
Oh, wow. Wowza.
Let's see what you've been hiding, Lord Mortimer. Moreover, it shows a fair number of sea voyages being organized towards the American continent. No doubt with slaves. How many men are broken in this trade? Tens of thousands each year, according to what people say. Weakness of the human psyche. by Guillaume Tremor.
He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in.
Silly batteries. Whoa. So he's got talks to everyone in the world. One minute.
Looks like a campaign is being prepared in France in favor of Italy. Could Mortimer have decided to finance a war?
Oh, 1 minute.
Look, a pack of tarot cards. Has he been reading the cards? Mortimer? That would surprise me. It is a typical draw on a line that answers a specific question. To the left, temperance, that announces a reward for one who patiently waits before taking any action. And in the middle, the chariot, which symbolizes triumph and business success. To the right, the Emperor evokes a future full of power and stability. Some goat skulls, chicken legs. Now we all know what that's for. I'm a little surprised at Mortimer. I didn't seem as the type to be organizing little pagan parties, invoking occult powers, and dancing naked under the full moon. I'm more used to seeing cheap charms like this sold by charlatans in Pré Saint-Gervais.
3 rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long. Am I seeing things, or is that an actual von Leeuwenhoek microscope? Incredible. Mortimer really is at the cutting edge of science. Even at the Order, it took us ages to get one of those.
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Oh, got a fire symbol on you.
That must be for writing the homing pigeon messages. Something strange about this table. What kind of experiments does Mortimer carry out here? It's a dissection table. So Mortimer does autopsies. Here on his desert island. But who is he doing autopsies on then? The Little Surgeon's Perfect Collection. Looks like obsidian or onyx. Must weigh a ton. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav, if the plaque on the plinth is anything to go by. Mortimer's given a name to his anatomy skeleton. That's morbid.
Come on.
An iron mask. I wonder who it's for. A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Can do it if I want, but I'll have another look around. Royal jelly. What's Jefferson? He knows everybody.
Preservation using formaldehyde. Just as disgusting as ever.
Oh, globe.
This is my mother's writing. I've picked up her trail. What is she up to? Obviously, she wants to lure Mortimer somewhere, but where?
Where there's pinned on the map, maybe?
The only clue she's left for Mortimer is his stone sword. It must be intentional. It looks like a decorative sword, like from a statue, for example. And judging by the state of it, I'm guessing it's been left outside for a long time. I have absolutely got to find out where it came from. It's locked.
Look for that one, I can't remember.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Tremor. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in.
Right, anything else before I depart? Might just unlock that thing, why not?
A chest with a motif representing the alchemical symbol of fire.
Cue the water symbol. Coins. 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 Anything else? Come on. More coins. There we go.
Oh shit. How am I gonna get out of here now?
Oh, what now?
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side. It looks too easy. It could be a trap. Looks like the same as the one on the other side. Whoa, whoa. If the grid closes a bit more every time I enter a wrong date, I'd better not mess up again.
No.
It doesn't seem to be working.
Ow, pain.
Weakness of the Human Psyche by Guillaume Tremor. He says, it is possible to drill an idea into someone by constant daily repetition until the mind gives in.
Anything in here first? Numbers, I need numbers. Okay. So technically it doesn't do anything to the door.
A skeleton by the name of Gustav. These are feathers. Pigeon, probably. Something strange about this table.
No, skip.
Three rusty old nails. They're about 20 centimeters long.
A table of alchemical elements. So, Lord Mortimer also studies alchemy? It seems like he's interested in everything.
It's locked.
I'll just risk pulling this.
This looks like the same mechanism as the one on the other side.
Aha! So what's claustrophobic just got me? What did that get me? I don't remember that. Aww.
The wheels are stuck. Shit! I'm cornered like a rat.
Aww. Am I dead?
Someone's coming. Please don't let it be Mortimer.
Who is it?
Deliberately avoiding me. 4 years ago, I was his favorite, but nowadays, I have to ask for an audience with his lordship.
Damn it! It's Peru. I don't know if I should, but...
Well, that's it. I've had enough of being humiliated.
I'm wasting my time here.
After everything I've done on his behalf, he dares treat me like a lackey? I've bled the Parisian elite for the sake of his whims, and what have I got to show for it? He doesn't even have the courtesy to give me 5 minutes of his time. I wanted to put my mind at ease. Well, that's done. I know what I've got to do now.
I must find my mother. So much for discretion.
Monsieur Peru! It's me! Monsieur de Riche!
What the devil is going on?
I need your help!
Where are you, de Riche?
Behind the painting! Open it, please! I've shut myself in! There's a pedal under Lord Mortimer's desk. Can you see it?
There's no... Hang on. Yes.
Good. Now press it.
Yeah. Done.
You should see something resembling a frame with numbers. Yes? You have to turn them to set the combination.
Oh, shoot.
1191.
Well. Poking our nose into Mortimer's little secrets, are we? You do surprise me.
It's not what you're thinking. I'll explain everything.
No, you will not, sir. It has nothing to do with me, and by the way, I never even saw you. So, I'll be on my way now.
Thanks again. I'm indebted to you. I won't forget this.
Yeah. Goodbye.
I've wasted enough time. I better get moving if I want to find my mother.
Whoops. Whoops. Hello? Information out of Von Walnut. I did not. No. Touching. Right now. Ooh, 4 more points. Right, so I can do that one. And that one! Ta-da! Got a bit of everything now. Ready to roll. 3 more to equip. With the 6. Right, so I need 3 the same. Go with that.
This note is about a meeting with Lord Mortimer. There's no doubt about it. Alright, I need to find out where the sword that came with it's from in order to find Mother.
You're joking, I hope. Don't tell me you've done that.
Really? How do you expect me to guess?
Oh, for God's sake, just ask them. We must absolutely inform Sir Gregory. How long has he been trying to collect all the spears?
I must have brought him the first one 20-odd years ago.
Do you know if he has managed to get the original?
Well, in any case, he's got all the ones we had at the Vatican. He made me replace them with copies. But I don't understand your reaction. I'm sure it is nothing serious.
Aha. I can see very well you do not understand. You have done nothing less than sign our death warrants, and still you don't understand.
Someone is listening.
What? Monsieur de Richet, why not join us rather than find yourself eavesdropping?
Well, I didn't want to interrupt you. I'm sorry.
Of course you didn't. So, my son, what can we do for you?
I was wondering if you might have seen an object like this, here, at the manor.
What are you playing at, de Richet?
I'm afraid I can't help you, my son. Ask someone who knows the manor better than I do. One of the servants, for example. One of them is bound to help you.
Thank you for your advice, Your Eminence. I didn't mean to spy on you, but you caught my attention. Your Eminence, I don't know what you said to Mr. von Boldena, but the poor fellow looks positively crestfallen.
Not at all.
Don't you believe it, Louis. I was just telling Monsieur about Lord Mortimer's burning passion for holy relics. You must have noticed he's a bit of a collector. Well, for years he has been searching high and low to bring all the copies of the Holy Spear together. As I was coming here, I thought I'd bring him a few of them. That's all.
Be quiet, for God's sake. Please leave us, monsieur. His Eminence and I wish to finish our discussion alone.
What can I do for you, sir? I am at your service, day and night, sir.
Could you tell me where this sword comes from, please?
Certainly, sir. How did such a sword come into sir's hands?
My good man, I'm afraid you're overstepping your role. You're the one who's supposed to be giving the answers, not me.
Naturally. I hope that sir will forgive me. If I were sir, I would look in the garden. This sword looks like it's from the garden statues.
And how can I get into the garden?
There are two ways, sir. The first way to get to the garden is by the hall, between the conference room and the portrait gallery. The second way is directly through the portrait gallery. Sir would just have to go out by the French windows.
Thank you, my good man.
that's the next one, isn't it? Oh, killing me. Killing me.
The sword probably came from this garden, but what could it have been used for? Ariadne. In Greek mythology, she helped Theseus get through the labyrinth. Looks like there's a crack in the region of the heart. I guide the sword that will kill the monster. Let's see. What's going to happen if I've got it wrong? Ariadne.
Yeah.
Try something else.
Oh, I get lost in a maze now. Oh, hello, mate.
Well, Monsieur de Richet, what brings you here?
I tell you what I'm looking for, Monsieur Peru. Will you promise to keep it to yourself?
Hell no. And anybody who gives you a promise like that is an unmitigated liar. Trust no one, Monsieur de Richet, or you'll soon be a dead man. I bid you good luck. You'll need it.
Okay, bye.
Daedalus. He's the architect of the labyrinth, and if I'm not mistaken, he's also the father of Icarus. I am the architect of my own demise. Hey, there's a crack in this statue too. I wonder what this kiosk is doing in the middle of the garden. Too cramped to be able to do much. Well, there must be something going on there. What is that? It's like a sort of opening mechanism. Knowing Mortimer, I bet it's booby-trapped. There's a little hole at the fingers. I'm pretty sure if I get it wrong, I'll get pricked. Damn you, Mortimer. Reminds me of traps I studied in Egyptian tombs. Looks like this slab moves. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a passageway underneath it.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. Right, anyway. That was following. That goes... Yeah, that so it comes that way, blah 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 blah. And let's go. Hello.
Theseus, son of Aegeus. He's the one who slayed the Minotaur. Wrongly positioned. I am the blind hero. I wasn't expecting an inscription like that. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso. I wonder if Mother managed to solve this enigma.
Right then.
Asterion. It is rare to see him like this. In general, he's represented with the head of a bull, with the features of the Minotaur.
The famous son of Minos and Pasiphae.
I am the cursed child.
Well, he's already got like 2 swords in him.
This statue has a crack in it.
Go on then.
Right. We'll soon see.
Well, you've already got like 2 swords in you, so a third. Maybe.
Asterion. Asterion was a son of Pasiphae and Minos, or rather the result of a curse put on Minos. Minos was punished for betraying Poseidon. Of course, as strangely it often happens, it wasn't he who was punished, it was his wife. She had to mate with a bull, no less. From that union, Asterion was born, who everyone knows as the famous Minotaur. Rejected by Minos, he was shut up in the labyrinth so he could never leave. And, as if that wasn't bad enough, he died by the hand of a hero desperate to restore his reputation. Technically, Asterion is the victim of the story because he's described as a child cast out from birth. Born from an extramarital union because of the errors of his father, he was treated as an outcast all his life. And he died as innocently as he was born. A tragic story, as the Greeks knew how to do so well.
Cool. I'm gonna go with that.
Let's
guy.
go.
He already has swords in him, and yeah. One way to find out. Nope.
What's wrong? Either I'm imagining things or my hand was pricked. It had poison on it. My head. I feel hot. Asterion.
So, definitely wasn't him. Next. Any coins around here? More jelly door. Oh, hello.
Minos. Son of Zeus and Europa. If I remember correctly, he was the king of Crete. Married to Pasiphae, he had many children, including the famous Ariadne, whom history remembers for her thread. Hey, there's a crack in that statue.
They're cracking them all.
His gesture sealed his fate. In mythology, King Minos was known as a wise and just king, despite the fact that he deceived Poseidon. As punishment, his country was devastated by the white bull of the sea god, and his wife became passionately in love with it. From their union, Asterion was born, sadly known to us as the Minotaur. The illegitimate child, the child of shame, who had a sorry fate. And to think that Minos ended up as a judge of the underworld. Decidedly, the high and mighty always managed to get away with it.
Let's see what else there is.
Icarus. The son of Daedalus and Nocrate. Impossible to mistake him with those wings. After flying too close to the sun, they came unstuck and he fell to his death. Pity. Hey, there's no crack here. If I remember rightly, Icarus was the son of Daedalus. He found himself confined to the labyrinth with his father after his father betrayed Minos. And his father's plan to escape from the labyrinth wasn't any more successful. Man, that kid was jinxed. Well, let's keep going.
Who haven't I looked at yet?
Pasiphae, daughter of Perseus and sister of Circe. She married Minos and became the queen of Crete.
She has no cracks. Alright, let's continue anyways.
Oh, hello.
Daedalus. If I remember rightly, he's the one who built the labyrinth for Minos. Hey, there's a crack in this statue too. The crack is thin and about as long as a finger.
Who do I choose?
Golden elixir. Ariadne. In Greek mythology, Ariadne helped Theseus out of the labyrinth. I guide the sword that would kill the monster. If I recall the Iliad, Ariadne is none other than the daughter of Minos and Pasiphae. She was in love with Theseus and helped him in his quest to kill the Minotaur in return for a promise of marriage if he defeated the monster. She gave him a reel of thread so that he could find his way back through the labyrinth, which was famous for being unsolvable. But once the beast was slain, the gallant was quick to abandon her on an island. Turns out heroes are not what they once were.
Yeah, I think I do have to follow that. That one that goes that way to there. Must be this guy then. No. I was getting lost. Oh, where am I now? Oh, loving it. Oh, hello. Found a coin though.
Daedalus.
Give it to the other guy.
Alright, let's try again. You never know. Theseus. Looks like a crack has been made on his torso.
Oh, not again. This didn't get poisoned that time. Oh, stop getting lost. No, other way. Alright, so it wasn't in. Oh, wrong way again. Oh, can I do it from here? No.
Theseus.
I'm just gonna have to do.
Let's try something else instead.
Process of elimination, blah blah blah.
Minos. The crack is in the region of the heart.
At least I'm not getting poisoned now, so I'll just keep trying. Yes! Oh, that didn't look good.
Ah!
Hello?
Again?
You can't be serious, Manuel. You know that's not going to happen.
You must leave me alone now. I have agreed to everything. Even to...
Agreed? I wasn't aware you had a choice.
What's going on here?
What now? What else must I do to win back my freedom?
Obey me. Now get out!
What was that? That's the third time in 3 days.
see if you're in there, Mother. Fragment of amber. Bandages? Someone's been patching themselves up. Looks like my mother took advantage of being in hiding to change her bandages, huh? This is silk. She must have used her own clothes. There are patches where the blood isn't totally clotted. That's a good sign, right? She changed them recently, which proves she's still looking after herself and still believes in her chances. Well, I'd love to tell her to keep hanging in there. These bandages are pretty basic. She'll be lucky if she doesn't get an infection.
Fairburn.
Damn it, Mother. Now what's happened? Is that it? Oh, no. Alright, thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, click the follow button. Coming soon.